Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 9 of class, where this week we'll be talking more about facility planning and a little bit about management and stuff too. I hope to keep this on the shorter end, but do have some specific things to cover for you guys, especially since this will play in to our next project. About the next project, I'm going to make a separate dedicated video breaking down that project and going to post it alongside it. So that way you guys have that resource as you keep going back to it over the next couple weeks. That will be posted, honestly, probably tomorrow. I hope to record that video either this evening or tomorrow morning. Tomorrow being Wednesday. Not sure when you watch these or if you even do. But let's hop right into um, esports facility planning. Okay, so facility planning, kind of one of the biggest and foundational steps into launching or maintaining a successful esports program. Whether you're building from scratch or working with an existing space, the layout, design, and like utility of the space is going to directly affect any players, staff, fans, and just overall performance. If you are a sports management major or have taken any sports management classes, you'll definitely understand like the importance of a good facility, and that's hopefully what I can convey a little bit within this week and some of the examples we have linked for later. Purpose of an esports facility. It's more than just a room with computers. So you're gonna have potential player development, practice, VOD reviews, team meetups, things like that. Competition. So this is where maybe you're playing locally and you're bringing another team and competing against, or you're doing your online matches where your players need to be in a solid space where they can compete, whoever they're competing against. And also potential watch parties or viewing events are very important too. Important ways to keep the community engaged. Content creation. What type of streaming stations or editing spaces might you have? Do you have a dedicated stream room? Do you have maybe a couple setups specifically for players to use for streaming? Other things, again, like community building, open gaming, maybe there's some clubs, spectatorships. How is the facility being used other than just for competition? Next, who uses the esports facility? Think beyond just the varsity team, right? Obviously, all of your players are going to use it, and all of your coaches. They're the ones that are going to get the most use out of a facility, especially when it comes to something like a collegiate team. These are built for their players and their coaches. There is the potential for content creators to use it, or some of those players who double as content creators could use the space. Also, shoutcasters, commentators, broadcast teams, they're going to need to be comfortable in the space, if not have their own dedicated space too. Um, Again, students and faculties, faculty. This could be a lot of collegiate esports teams structure themselves in a way where there is the varsity team and then a separate club team, or maybe they have open gaming hours and stuff like that. So you could have other students or faculty members of the community come in and use it. Also, community members, local partners, again, in some of those open access models, could be using them because, like, not every esports facility um, is just there for a specific team, right? They could be something like a PC cafe or something like that, where a little bit of everyone could come in and use them, and maybe they have a partnership where a specific team can come in and use specific computers. What I'm saying is there could be a lot of uses and a lot of people that would use an esports facility. So when it comes to kind of planning your team, planning your facility, really needs to reflect the needs and the schedules of anyone that could use it. Some key features to consider when planning an esports facility. There's a lot of these elements. So it's kind of, I can actually make this not broken up there. Gaming equipment. Obviously, you're going to want some high performance stuff. I find that a lot of esports facilities and teams and stuff typically go like mid ranged when it comes mid-ish range when it comes to specs. So like literally going through the process of purchasing computers now for the program I run, we're looking at like i7s with 4060s for the graphics cards. So that's like not the most high end, but definitely newer. So sure we could go like i9 4090. They'd sell them to me, um, but it's not. We don't necessarily have that need. So understanding that okay, this spec is going to cover all of the different games that I could have as a college esports team in doing that. Whereas if you're just a Valorant team, maybe you for sure need to have a high end CPU, and then a solid GPU that can help run it. Right. Different games do different things or use different parts of the computer more. So those are things that you're going to have to account for. Same thing for if I'll get to that in just a second. But networking, so need to have that a stable, high speed internet. A lot of times, you'll be put on your own switch or something if you're part of like a larger campus community. That way, updates can roll out to you at different times or before when you're not in competition. Because a lot of times, campus IT departments will roll out their updates in the middle of the night. But if you're playing a West Coast team in playoffs in esports, you could be competing at 11, 12 when those updates are scheduled to roll out. So having that dedicated switch where those updates can go to you at a different time or something is very important. Good relationships with IT departments is key when it comes to facilities and esports management. Lighting and acoustics. So this is important for gameplay focus and stream quality. So obviously you're not going to want to have like very distracting lighting in an esports. Dimming light is beneficial. You also want to try to find and strike that balance between like gaming in no light could strain your eyes because you're just looking at the monitor. So having some type of bias light to where it's a little bit easier for you is really important. And then acoustics too. Like you're gonna have a bunch of people with headsets on talking to each other. The last thing you want is a room echo just being added into that. So just something to make it a little bit more manageable, especially for the players, but then also potentially for any types of streams or content and stuff that you'd be doing. Next is that streaming broadcast capability. So you need cameras, green screens or backgrounds, um, some type of production desk and stuff that you can do. This is what I was going to get into earlier, but also like dedicated streaming computers, because a computer built for gaming might not have all the specs that you need for streaming, right? Maybe you want something a little specs a little bit more like productivity based. Most gaming computers at the um, level or structure that you would buy for collegiate are partnered and built through Intel. But for a all around streaming gaming, potentially if you're running the spectator stuff through it, computer, you're gonna want probably AMD. Switch over to that because they're a little bit more better for productivity and handling. At least current gen would be really good for you there. Another thing that we talked about with the last project, ergonomics and wellness, proper chairs, room layout, accessible design. If you're going to be gaming and sitting in chairs, might as well be good chairs, not just comfy, but like good for you. Because the health of the players is so important. Next would be like branding and atmosphere, school spirit, team pride, visual identity. When you walk into this space with someone you want to show it, they should immediately know where they are, what the purpose is, and you can get a lot of that done through that branding and atmosphere. So that's pretty much overall general talking about facility planning and management. Not as much management as planning, but then I do have some linked examples in the videos portion. So video will be posted just below this. All of these are videos that I recommend that you check out. So first we'll talk about 100 Thieves. So this is their when they announced their Cash App compound. This is 5 years ago. They're still in the space. There are some different use cases. They just haven't done like a dedicated facility tour since then. Um, but there's some really cool stuff here. A lot of this stuff is still used for what it says. Obviously, maybe that specific content series doesn't exist anymore. But like, let's see if we can find like dedicated player spaces here. This looks like one of their streaming labs. Yeah, but overall, this is just a lot of things. A good like example of a facility tour for you guys to check out. That you can see a lot of this stuff for, and they cover a little bit of everything. All parts of 100 Thieves, so you'll see the different things that they're using it for. This one was posted 2 weeks ago. So LA Thieves, a lot of Call of Duty teams play out of Dallas. So they brought their team over there and they talk a little bit about their facility, everything that they got going on. So you'll see like some of the similarities between the branding and stuff. So keeping that atmosphere. I would also like now it's dedicated toward the Call of Duty team and what they're going to need to do with everything, right? Next is a look at a collegiate example, one that was completed and they're still adding on to over at Syracuse. So this is, I think, the people who helped to design and build it. Nice video going through, kind of showing off and talking about the space a little bit. Only 2 minutes, definitely check it out. And then here is the actual Syracuse's socials. They did like a TikTok walkthrough of everything they got going on there. So two really good examples of something to check out for you. And then I'll have this video here. I'll get these notes posted as well so you guys can at least see the bullet points and stuff that I went through. But that's pretty much all that we have, with the exception of the assignment. Let me pull that up really quick for you. Pretty standard weekly assignment, week 9 facilities. So just a couple bullet point questions for you guys. Here we go. Week 9 facilities. Please choose a professional or collegiate esports facility that you would like to use for your facility analysis. That is your next project. This discussion will greatly help with your facility analysis. Please put some thought and research into it. This is a great way to get an early start on project 3, which again will be facility. I'm just now realizing I wrote that 3 times in those 2 sentences. I'm going to leave it. Gets the point across. But here's the questions for you guys to kind of get that good start. What is your facility? Who uses it? What do they use it for? Why did you choose this facility? From your first impressions, what does it do well? And what could be improved? These are 4 pretty guided questions to help you get a good head start onto your project. That way you're not starting from scratch when we turn that in here in just a couple weeks. That's all that I have for this week. A little bit longer ish of a video, but I think it's important, especially since we're introducing that project. I am going to put that in its own separate video, walk through it, some of the expectations and stuff, just so you can go through it and not have to scroll through this and try to find where it is. But if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. And yeah, I hope you have a good rest of your week.